Unpacking Dogen's Genjokoan. Episode 13. The Long River. First, what do we even mean by unpacking? We can define unpacking as the intense scrutiny of traditional Buddhist and Zen texts. A scrutiny that often breaks down the texts, sentence by sentence, term by term, and occasionally word by word. And why even unpack at all? Because not all of us have the opportunity to regularly engage with a living, breathing, enlightened teacher. Understanding that in the Zen tradition, it's this engagement that substitutes for the critical reading of the traditional texts. And so, for those who don't have the opportunity to regularly engage with a living teacher, there must be a return to the traditional texts as teacher. And with that return is the understanding that the texts are best approached as sequences of riddles, or perhaps as sequences of landmines. And these riddles must be reconciled, these landmines cleared, if we are to truly make progress. Let's begin. Consider the following excerpt from Dogen's Genjokoan, a letter to a disciple. The actualization of the Buddha Dharma, the vital path of its authentic transmission, is like this. If you say that you do not need to fan yourself, because the nature of wind is permanent, and you can have wind without fanning, you will understand neither permanence nor the nature of wind. The nature of wind is permanent. Because of that, the wind of the Buddha's house brings forth the gold of the earth and ripens the cream of the long river. And in aiding in the unpacking of this brief excerpt, we might consider a handful of questions. First, what misunderstanding is the passage correcting when it challenges the idea that you do not need to fan yourself because the nature of wind is permanent? Next, how does the metaphor of fanning function in this excerpt? Why does Dogen emphasize that misunderstanding wind leads to misunderstanding permanence itself? What is implied by the statement that the wind of the Buddha's house brings forth the gold of the earth and ripens the cream of the long river? And finally, does this passage support the idea that enlightenment eliminates the need for practice? Or does it redefine what practice actually is? And so we've reached the end of Dogen's Genjokoan.